Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell, and for those of you that don't know, I am an entrepreneur. I am a public speaker and an author. And the business that I own is called First Love Yourself, and I've wrote a few books, but one of the books that I'm probably known the most for is Learn from My Missteps. So, I really came on here to keep it real. I know some of you don't know who I am. And it's funny because I didn't know who I was until 2, 3 years ago. And even then, I had to make sure that I didn't put myself under one of those categories that I said in the beginning. I'm not just an author. I'm not just a public speaker. I'm not just an entrepreneur. I am Trinisha Cottrell. I am a woman of God, a child of God. I'm patient. I'm kind. I am understanding. I am the type of woman who doesn't always get it right. I'm the type of woman who makes a bunch of mistakes and is so grateful for God's grace and mercy every single day. And it's so funny how we can get on the social media platform or we can get on a camera and we can pretend as if we have everything together. And I want to be the first to say that I don't have everything together. I'm just a person who is willing to try to be successful in my own right and to continuously be better every single day. I'm trying to glow up, level up every single way that I possibly can and receive every single blessing that God has for me. And when I'm going through this journey, it does not look perfect. Some people can take a picture and make it seem as if their whole life is perfect, like they don't struggle, like they don't go through things in life. And I'm going to be the first to say that I still struggle with things that are hard for me. I still go through life putting one foot in front of the other, as all of us should do. I still continuously seek God because without God, I don't know where I would be. I honestly get my strength from God. I don't get it from myself. I know a lot of people would like to say, and I'm not trying to just generalize, but I hear a lot of people saying that it's self-made, that they're the reason why they did this. They pulled themselves up by their own bootstraps, and they have all of these really cool colloquialisms that they use to try to show or to describe exactly how they did everything in life alone. And I could not imagine doing anything in my life without God. I, through all my missteps, through all my mistakes, through everything that I do wrong, I seek God first to try to find guidance on the things that I need to do in life. And I do want to be candid and I want to be transparent in this moment and saying that I don't always get it right. And I know some people may leave this video at this moment because they're thinking, well, if you don't always get it right, I can't learn anything from you. You know, I don't want to learn anything from a person that thinks they know everything at all. That is not my speed. That is not my MO. That's not my modus operandi. That is not the way that I operate at all. I personally want to learn from someone who is flawed, someone who has been proficient or has learned in a certain area that I want to grow in. I don't want them to be 100% God. I want them to be 100% human. I want them to be a flawed individual who has learned something very well in one area that I want to grow in so that they can develop and grow and learn as well. And for me, the things that I am the most proficient in is compassion, being kind to others. And I just always want to see the best and the better in other people. I don't want to say the best, the better, because although they are improving, they might not be at their best, but they are constantly improving upon themselves and becoming a better person every single day. And I think that's all that we can ask for is someone to just try to be a better person. Eventually, they will get to the best version of themselves. But as long as they're continuously growing and learning and becoming better, I think that is exactly what God would have intended for any of our lives. And so I I am honestly struggled through this self-love, self-care, loving yourself journey. And some people like to say, well, you just choose to heal and love yourself, and all of a sudden you're healed. Just out of nowhere. You, in a blink of an eye, you're just healed. And it doesn't work like that. It's a continual process. And I know a lot of people would like to search for a get rich quick scheme. They would like to search for something that happens overnight, something that's in the blink of an eye. But that is not how real progress works. That's not how real success is accomplished. A lot of the things that are done within us happen in the dark. God works on us in the dark. We are constantly improving in the dark. We're learning these skills in the dark. We are putting in years before we even see the fruition of our work. And I think it's important for us to know that we have to be intentional every single day. There are things that you can do that can quickly improve your life. And there are things that you can do that will improve your life as time goes on. And so I have created a book by the grace of God called The 5 R's that you need to implement in your life. These 5 things have helped me stay on track in different times of my life where I have started to feel my life derail, where I have started to feel myself get off track. I've started to get unfocused. And when I go to look back at these 5 things, it helps me remember what's the most important thing in my life. So I'm going to go a little back and forth on this video instructional training. I don't know if we could call this a training, but let's just say that this is going to be something that will be informative and will help you improve in your life. As long as you are intentional and you apply these steps to your life, it will improve your life. But it's up to you to be intentional. And I think it's important for me to state that, because we all want something to just be given to us, but faith without works is dead. It's important for us to really be intentional with the things that we're doing in our life so that we can be better. So here is the 5 R's you need to improve your life. The 5 R's that you need to implement in your life. I like to keep it like this. That way we can try to make sure that we are getting the crux of this, that we are really being intentional with everything that we're doing. So the first R is going to be resolve. We want to make sure that we resolve any past things in our life that need to be improved. So sometimes that can look like you have a disagreement with something, or someone doesn't agree with you, and you think, well, they're not agreeing with me, so let me just cancel out, and my cutoff game is real strong. We like to go back and forth and say our cutoff game is strong, but not every relationship needs to be or should be cut off. Some people are supposed to be in your life because they're helping you improve. Those people who are pushing you to be a better person, and it's uncomfortable, but you're thinking, well, they just don't want me to win. You have to really ask yourself, does this person really not want me to win? Are they telling me constructive criticism? Are they telling me something that will improve my life from a loving place? And if you're honest with yourself, are you pushing yourself enough to get to the next level? This person could be placed in your life because they're allowing you to be a better person. So we have to make sure that we are honest with ourselves in doing that. The next thing, okay. What's funny is I think that it's nothing but distractions. This is how life is. Seriously. Whenever you're in life, you're trying to improve, you're trying to do the right thing, it always seems like there's something that comes up that tries to distract you from your main purpose. And I have noticed this a lot in my life nowadays. I'm gonna be honest. I really wanted this thing in my life that at the beginning God told me. And I'm not trying to be that person, that Christian that says God told me this and God told me that and blah blah blah, and not that blah 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 is anywhere near what God means in my life. I'm just filling in the blank. And sometimes we as humans get to a point where we want things that God doesn't want for our life. And I get this way probably once a year. I find this person, place, or thing that I'm just like, that's mine right there. I want that. And God's like, no, 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 no. I did not tell you that you could have that thing. So why would you ever in a million years think that I was going to give you this thing that I did not bless? And it's so funny how we can obtain things in our lives and we're like, this is God right here. And God's like, I'm not nowhere near that. It's good, but it's not me. It's not God. So we have to be real with ourselves and understand that just because somebody goes to church and we go to church does not mean that's the person for us. Just because someone treats us really well does not mean that that's supposed to be our kingdom spouse. They could just be a kind-hearted person who treats people really well, and they might be good to you, but they might not be grace for you. And although they are kind in a lot of different areas, kind-heartedness does not mean kingdom spouseness. It does not mean that they're intentional. It does not mean that they are, it could be they're not a believer of God, but they treat you like a queen, or they treat you the way that you would want a man of God to treat you. It could be that all of your values don't line up. They're ethical. They're a good character person. Like, their characteristic traits are great. They have good ethics. They really do treat people well. They have intentionality in their life, but they're not your person. And for me, this is an area of my life where I really, really, really struggle hard. Like, I would like to pretend like, God says, you can't have this really great man. And I'm just like, okay, God, let me continuously wait for this man that you said was coming along and you told me I was going to be in a relationship. And I've been making single look good out in these streets, just doing the right thing. I've been obedient. I've been listening to you. I've been reading my Bible every day. I've been in church every Sunday. I've been going to Bible study every Wednesday. I have been out exploring and enjoying every single moment, every single day of life. I have not been focused on being with anybody. And every time the adversary or life sends a person into my life who's there only for a season or not even supposed to be a part of my life, I'm just like, why? And I did hear a sermon once that says that sometimes God will send people in your life who are not your kingdom spouse because they're teaching you something about yourself so that you can be a better wife in the future. And I do believe that's true, but when you're in that moment, it sucks. Can I say that? Am I going to be the only religious person, the only Christian who has a relationship with God that's going to really say, like, be real with yourself and really be like, it sucks when things like this happen? Because it sucks. It really does. I feel like every time I meet someone who I'm interested in, God's like, that ain't the one. Every single time. I saw this little meme on Instagram, and I don't mean to diminish it by calling it little, but I saw this meme on Instagram, and it was this lady was single, and she said, every time I think I got a little boo thing, Jesus takes off his sandal and slaps me in the neck and says, that ain't the one. And that's how I feel. I really feel like I don't think God's playing any games with me. I think everything happens for a reason. Sometimes we make our own choices and we want God to bless it afterwards, and I know that's real. And it also sucks. Like, it really does suck when you want something to be different than it was in the past. When you meet someone who is a decent person who treats you the way that you prayed that you would be treated, and you have to let that person go. When you meet someone who is like, oh, we're both in church attendance, and then you realize just because y'all attend church does not mean y'all have the same relationship with God. When you meet someone who says, oh, you're the one, but none of their actions line up with their words. When you meet someone who treats you really well in the beginning and then decides after you give yourself to them or whatever the thing is that you do out in this world, then you realize that they don't keep that same energy. All of a sudden they're lacking in every area. They might call you every day, but they are not intentional about trying to get to know you. They don't care nothing else about you because they got everything that they want. When you and I don't mean care about you like as a human being, like people probably care about people all the time. I mean, and this is just coming to me. I mean that they care about you. They want you to be good in life because they want everybody to be good in life, but they don't care about you as a person. They don't think about you in that way at all ever again. All of a sudden you just some random human piece of like a flesh suit walking around. You're not really a person with a heart. You know, you're not a person who they would care about your feelings at all, because I mean they care about your feelings, but they're not interested in you in that way. And now you feel stupid. And I know stupid is a really mean word, but I want to let you know, don't feel stupid. Like, you're human. I'm not going to be the type of Christian religious person that beats up on people for making bad decisions in their life or for choosing the wrong thing, because we've all chose something wrong. A pastor said once that everybody sins every day. So we are all sinners. And the thing that I would say to you is to just make sure that you turn to God, to make sure that you get back on track, that you don't beat yourself up and get in this guilt cycle, that you don't turn to cynicism and just only start thinking negative things now, that you don't close your heart off to being open to meeting another person because you think that every person is going to be like the old person, that you don't turn around and say that maybe God just forgot about you. Don't ever feel like God ever forgot about you, because God knows every hair on your head, and he could never forget about you. I know. I'm really struggling in this moment because honestly, I've been feeling really lost the past 2 months, and I feel like I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do, but I don't feel it in my heart. I don't feel the same energy that I felt and the same fire that I had for God. I still believe in God. I still trust God. I still know that God has my best interest in heart. And I still hear from God, you know, when I'm reading my Bible, when I'm doing different things, when I have questions to answers, but my heart is there, but I don't feel like it's there. Like, I feel like after some things have happened in my life, I feel like my heart is closing off or something. Like, and it's so funny. The podcast that I listen to lift me up all the times said that God had told this young lady that she had a callus over her heart, which is like a hardened area that grows over, I guess, a wound or something. And I feel like that's how we are in life. Sometimes we get this callus build up because we have so many disappointments. I felt that. And it's important for us to know this thing that came to me, this revelation that came to me, is that, you know, we all have an appointed time to meet our kingdom spouse, an appointed time to be successful, an appointed time for our business to grow, an appointed time for all these things. And I think that a disappointment is you not reaching your appointed time. When the things don't go the way that you want them to go, when all of a sudden it's a miss. You're missing that thing that God promised you. You're missing that assignment that you're assigned to. You're missing that place that you're supposed to be at and your purpose, that is a disappointment. And a lot of people could say you only get disappointed because you expect something. I have this saying, and it's going to sound really cynical, but listen, I believe it's true. And you could say, call it what you want, but there's this thing that I keep in the forefront of my mind, so I try not to get disappointed. But when you miss an appointment, it's easy to be disappointed, you know. But it's expect nothing and appreciate everything. I'm not sure who the quote came from, but this is how I try to live my life. And sometimes it could be not good. Sometimes it's not good to just expect nothing and appreciate everything. Sometimes we do have to expect ourselves to do better. Sometimes we do have to expect that God is going to come through on his promises. Sometimes we do have to expect to be treated the way that Christ loves the church. Sometimes we do have to expect that when we are putting in this work that we're going to see the fruit of our labor, because we reap what we sow, because of cause and effects, because of all of the things. And I think that that quote that I keep is a cop out. I think it's just one of those things that I used to run to that would just make me feel at ease so that I wouldn't feel like I'm being disappointed over and over again. So that I can actually expect nothing from anybody, any person, place, or thing, just not really expecting good or bad. And then appreciating the moments that I do receive, when people surprise me and when they do the right thing, when they really do treat me the right way, when all of these things are happening. But I really think it's important to know that when you're expecting nothing, you still have to have standards. You still have to have boundaries. You still have to make sure that you appreciate and that you're looking out for yourself. You still have to make sure that you're taking care of you, because if you're not taking care of yourself and you expect nothing, then when people do a little bit that's really nothing, then you appreciate everything as if that's the best thing in the world. Come on, you deserve more than that. When you know that you deserve to be treated like Christ loved the church, when you know that you deserve to have someone go after you with the same intentionality in the beginning all the way through your entire relationship, when you know that you deserve to be treated well and not just treated like an option, you should always be somebody's choice. When you know that when you're putting forth this effort, if someone doesn't appreciate you, then you don't need to be at that place unless God tells you to stay because it's going to train you for the position that he opened up for you. Do not stay anywhere where you are being tolerated. At work, with friends, with family members, in a relationship, period. No commas, no semicolons, no colons, no nothing else but a period. That's the end of the sentence. There's no continuation going on in this story of your life in that chapter. As long as you have breath, continue to do better in your life. We cannot continue to just keep giving people an opportunity to disappoint us because we expect nothing. We have to continuously expect ourselves to do better, expect ourselves to not tolerate everything, expect ourselves to keep going for our dreams, expect ourselves to keep believing in ourselves, expect ourselves to believe that God is who he says that he is, expect ourselves to have everything that our heart desires, and to not grow weary in doing well, because in due season we will reap a harvest if we faint not. We cannot continuously expect nothing. We have to expect everything that we want, not in a person, but in ourselves. So if I had to do a remix on that quote, it would say, expect everything that your heart desires, because you are going to go with it with intentionality and zeal, and appreciate every single thing that you've accomplished along the way, even your failures, because it'll teach you something so that you can be a better person for your future. So I know this didn't go the way it's planned. I did have this slideshow spreadsheet thing that was going to come up, and I was going to tell you all the 5 R's, but I actually had I don't know where those other pages came from for real. Like I feel like that's part of an old like template somewhere that had like just writing in it to fill the pages. And I do apologize for that not coming across the way that it was intended. But I hope that you learned something from this video and that you can learn from my missteps. You can learn that not everything good is God. You can learn that just because you want someone to do something doesn't mean they're going to do it. And just because you want something doesn't mean that it wants you. You could want this job and God could say this job is not for you. I'm not in this job. Stop fighting for a position in this place where you're not purposed. Stop fighting for a friendship when it's one-sided. You're the only one given. Why do you want it to be around anyone that's tolerating you? You should go where you're appreciated, not where you're tolerated. You should go where people really do see your worth and your value, and they will treat you as such. They're going to treat you like Christ loved the church. They're going to treat you like a prized possession. They're going to treat you like you that person. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to treat you the way that you always dreamed that you would be treated by another individual. And it's so funny because life is just unexpected. And people will always make it seem like it's too much to ask at a place that you are not supposed to be in your life. I hope you heard me when I said that. If you're in a place and you're begging for anything, that is not where you should be. That's God screaming and trying to tell you to get out. Just go, run, get away from those things that are making you feel like crap, because you deserve so much more than that. You are so much more special than that. You are amazing. Do you not know that God sometimes saves the best for last? And he was just waiting on you to finally see your worth, to finally see your value, to finally see that you deserve everything. So go for it. Only thing stopping you is you. So go for everything that you want, because you can do it. Always remember that.